Hi there. I am so happy you are here. This is Saturday. Welcome to Saturday for the hangout of the day. The hangout, the best hangout ever. And I'm going to ask you some questions though first. Are you one of those people who have thoughts like this that you think over and over and over again? Why am I here? Who am I anyway? How do I decide what path to take? How do I take action? What is my best way to contribute and make the most of life? What am I avoiding and why? What tools can best help me connect to who I am meant to be? Now, if these are some of your questions and you've been wondering these things, you've come to the right place because today I have a really special guest, Donna Mills, who is going to talk to you, share with you about hand analysis. And it is going to be so much fun to hear what she has to say. So our topic is learn how hand analysis can increase creativity and innovation, the law of attraction way, with Donna and me, Sandra Longmore. So I am Sandra Longmore, and I want to welcome you again. I am here the first 3 Saturdays of the month. So let's see. Am I showing it all? Yeah, I am. Oh, I've got it on the other side. I see. I have a new thing here, so I have it on the other side. Oh, that's interesting. I'm going to make an adjustment there. So that's the whole idea of having things live. So there we go. I'm here on the first 3 Saturdays of the month. I take the last Saturday off because I believe in self-care, and that's my weekend off. Now, I just love learning. Today it's going to be about hand analysis. And one of the other things, many things that I've learned in my life is when I first heard about law of attraction, I just wanted to gather everything I could and learn more and more and more about how this powerful law works. So I became certified in it. I am a trainer now in law of attraction, and I became certified life coach and certified vision board trainer, and probably more certifications coming up because I am a creator of things and I like to learn in my life. In fact, I like it so much, I've created a whole show, a whole community around it, and I got another visual for that there. I got new visuals. So this is my community. It is called The Art of Living Ageless, the Law of Attraction, the Fast Fun Way. 2 communities. The first one is The Art of Living Ageless, and the second community is Learn Law of Attraction, the Fast Fun Way. And that community is being formed right now because I have a 4-part series coming up called The Law of Attraction, Learn It the Fast Fun Way. It's going to be 4 parts, and it's going to be just all you need to know about law of attraction. And then I also have another community that's coming up around artists. So it's come to my attention, me being an artist. As you can tell, I'm in my art room where I teach art at the school here, Medallion Art School. And art is just always around me. And so I teach it and I imbibe it and love it. So I thought, you know, I need to get more involved with what I'm doing in other ways. So I'm creating a community on Google Plus called Artist Support. And so that's coming up really quick. So I wanted to have things that inspire me and motivate me and inspire you and motivate you. And that's why I created those communities. And it's all kind of around solutions and ideas and how you can live your life as an art and how you could be any time in your life and you could know that, you know what, I created that. I really created that. Or sometimes if it doesn't look too good, you might say, what's up with that? Why did I create that? And that's how law of attraction works. So law of attraction is a really interesting, funny, disgusting, difficult, great Powerful law. And it all works on how you are what you're doing with your energy, no matter what. No matter what cards are being dealt to you. It's all what you do with your energy, and that's how you get results, the kind of results you want. Because law of attraction it doesn't care. It doesn't care if you get good things or bad things. It doesn't have a brain. It doesn't think. It's just an energy, like the gravity. You don't ask gravity to think. You try and harness it. Like when you were a tiny toddler and you had to learn how to walk, you didn't ask, why is that happening to me? And the law of attraction is similar. It's an energy that you can use to create your best life. And you will find the more you think positively, which is the best way, the more positive things you attract. Like today I attracted Donna. I'm so excited about that. So law of attraction, yes or no, it doesn't care if it should be a yes or a no. It's going to just bring to you what you want, because its job is to match your vibration. And so there's the matching. It's upside down. Thank you. That's why I have Tony there. Matching. It just matches your vibration. And that's a vibration sign. I like the bottom part, which is vibrazione. So Tony's muted, or she could say that better because she's got that accent. Maybe when it's your turn, you can say it. So in case you haven't figured it out, Tony's right next to me here. So that's a little bit about law of attraction, and I always include that right at the very first of the broadcast here, because some people are watching the program for the first time, or they're picking it up on the archives in YouTube, and they don't know about law of attraction. So that's why I put that in there. And now I'd like to introduce my panel and my very special guest, Donna Mills.
Hi. Really nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me. Really appreciate it. And always eager to tell a little bit more and share what hand analysis is all about. Some people are very familiar with it. Some people have never heard of it. So as we go down the road, I'll give a little bit more background on where it came from and what it can tell you about yourself. That's okay.
Awesome. And let's hear from Tony.
Okay. Am I unmuted? There we go. Can we hear me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm Tony. I'm an artist, and Sandra's favorite word I like to pronounce vibrazione. So it gives it a little more emphasis. I just enjoy Sandra's energy. She's a very good friend, and I do little miniatures that I can share with myself, or myself with my friends. I don't know if you can see that real close.
Nice.
Let's see. Let me click me on. I don't have myself white box. There we go. Now I can tell what I'm doing. Okay, so I've got a little vignette, and I've got a fuchsia, and one of my pieces that I have framed. And I share these with people. It just, that way they have a different outlook on life, and maybe it brings them a smile, maybe it lifts their energy just by looking at it. So that's my contribution to their law of attraction in a subtle way. So back to you.
Aren't those the cutest things ever? You know, I'm downloading this broadcast also. I'm putting it on iTunes, and that's all audio. So what Tony just did is showed us some little tiny miniatures. They're like maybe an inch by an inch and a half. And then she puts a frame around them, and they are so cute, and they're all watercolor. They are absolutely amazing. Amazing, amazing people that I get to attract. So Donna, I have been so interested in hand analysis. Can you tell us some more about it?
Okay, this is a system that was developed by a gentleman named Richard Unger back in the 60s, and he started off looking and being interested in traditional palmistry, you know, like palm reading, which has gotten a very bad rap over time. You kind of get this idea of gypsy caravans and that kind of stuff, and it really is not about that. It's predictive only to the extent that what you have always done will tend to be what you always do unless you make a decision to change it. But in the course of looking at all of that, he was curious as to why it was very accurate in some cases, not very accurate in other cases. And so he went to a university in Houston and started a medical center and started looking at actual handprints of people. And he looked at thousands and thousands and determined that a lot of it is because of what is going on in your fingerprints. And as you know, fingerprints are used in law enforcement for identification purposes, but they're formed in utero. At about the end of the 5th month in utero, you have your fingerprints, and they don't change. They're very, your whole life. That's why they use them for identification purposes in law enforcement, is because they don't change. And as a result, those fingerprints actually tell you something about why you are here, what your life purpose is. They tell you, as you begin to pursue your life purpose, some of the challenges that you can anticipate encountering, and what kind of water you're swimming in, almost, called your life school. So we have in this life print system, there's your life purpose, which is the person that you're here to be, your life lesson, which is the challenges you can anticipate, and your life school, which are sort of life university, and how you can tend to navigate the filter, kind of the filters through which you perceive things. And all 3 of those combine to form your soul psychology. And we call it soul psychology because it is based on something unchanging, your fingerprints. In addition to fingerprints, of course, in your hands, if you look at your hands, you've got, 4 fingers and a thumb and lines, and your hands have a shape, your fingers have a shape. There's all sorts of interesting information that's contained in those lines, shapes, and so on. But those can change a little bit. We're born with certain traits, certain emotional styles, certain ways of thinking about things. But through the decisions that we make in our lives, there's a lot of neural activity that goes from your brain to your hands. And so what's going from here down to here ends up showing up here. And I have seen over time some of the lines in your hands change. And so that's the personality psychology. That's kind of the personality that you are versus the soul being that you are here to be. And sometimes they are very nicely dovetailed, and sometimes you can have some real challenges when your personality style doesn't quite align real well with what your life purpose is, and then you have what we call some delicious dilemmas. What are you going to do about that? So that's kind of a little nutshell version of this, and just for reference purposes, this is Life Prints. This is Richard Unger's book. He's the fellow who developed this system, so if you're interested in learning more about it, you can learn more about it through this book. Very interesting stuff.
Awesome. It is just fascinating. With your permission, I'd like to read a testimonial that I found on your internet site, which is, your internet site is called Prints on Purpose. Is that correct?
That's right.
Prints on Purpose. So I found this testimonial, and I think it tells us a lot about Donna. So I forgot to put down who it was from. Anyway, the person said, I was at a transition in my life when I discovered Donna's Prints on Purpose. At a crossroads in my artistic life, completing projects jammed for my action, competing projects jammed for my attention. I came to Donna seeking clarity in the areas of spirituality, creativity, relationship, and self-nurturance. During our session, I had the sense that Donna knew me as well as my hairdresser or a trusted girlfriend who has heard over coffee all my stories and dreams, as well as struggles and disappointments. I felt known, heard, and affirmed. All this information in the lines of my hands and fingertips. That and even more, I received a nudge to kick up my life up a notch with healthy cautions appropriate to my life purpose, of course. Plus, I was guided to the next steps in making a meaningful contribution to the lives of others. That was such a great testimonial, and I can just feel how that girl or woman must have felt when, you know, she got this knowledge that you were able to give her in her fingertips and in her, you know, your hand analysis. Do you have another story that's kind of similar to that, Donna, that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, actually, that's very interesting, and I do know the person involved, and she went on after that. She's now got 2 published children's books that she's written and illustrated, and she's just a wonderful person. But this is what kind of happens with hand analysis. I got another situation where I had a woman who was also in transition, and that tends to be the people that seem to be attracted to what I'm doing, are people who are, you know, have been, I've worked with young people, a few young people and so on, but it seems to be mostly women who are in transition. Perhaps empty nesters, perhaps having worked, you know, at one job for a long time, and I'm thinking about making a change, and I want it to be purposeful for me this time rather than, you know, a paycheck is important, but I'd really like to have a little bit more fulfillment around it. And so I had another woman who was in that sort of situation, and she said that, you know, after working with me, that it kind of took her professional life in a new direction, that she had been working for someone else, and it gave her the kind of the permission almost to go ahead and go out and really do what she was interested in doing, which had a lot to do with teaching people healthy habits. Dietary habits, exercise, working a whole lot of information about nutrition. She's very knowledgeable and very interested in that area. And so she's, you know, has done acupressure and all of that sort of stuff, but she really loves teaching, and so that's what she started to do, and she's teaching now, doing nutrition information, and is very happy with it, and it's very purposeful for her. That's the thing about this, is when we're looking at what purpose is in this system, it's not really, here's what I ought to be. You know, your fingerprints will not tell you if you're supposed to be a, you know, a cab driver or a mountain climber or a painter. It tells you what sorts of who you're here to be and what's going to be most fulfilling for you in terms of being able to accomplish that. And you can accomplish the purpose through a lot of different vehicles. And for example, if your purpose is leadership, there are many, many different ways in which you can be a leader. And the other areas of your hand, your own personality style and all of that sort of thing, can lead you to perhaps the best leadership kinds of opportunities, the ones that are really going to suit you the best. But your fulfillment comes from doing that leadership purpose in some way or another. You know, and sometimes people too know that they're happy or unhappy doing one thing or another, but particularly if you like what you're doing, you can have a little bit of trouble pinpointing what it is that you actually like about it. Why is that so fulfilling for you? And that's where the hand analysis comes in, because it helps you to pinpoint, that's the reason that that is satisfying to me. It's because that is where my purpose lies. And that's been my experience with virtually everyone. I've had very few people that were really shocked or surprised by what I've told them. It's been much more, I kind of knew that inside all the time, but it's so wonderful to have it articulated. So that's something that can be very helpful.
Yeah, I agree. It's you know, when you're aligned with your purpose, everything just goes really good. So I wanted to show you this here, a little graphic here, energy, focus, and desire. So that's like when everything's aligned in the law of attraction, then will bring you the matching components that you need. And you know, like through hand analysis, that would be one of the components. You might attract the idea that maybe you'd like to have that done, and then because of what you've learned then you can focus more on what you really want, and that just feels good. Now, Donna and I had something really funny happen right before we started the broadcast here. I had these new graphics, that I've been showing, and so I was telling her about it, and I said, yeah, I have these new graphics, and she says, hold that right there. And so I held my hand like that, and she gave me a reading. So, Donna, can you do it again?
Well, as I said, I want to put a little caveat on this that I can't see it real clearly just because of pixels and so on, but it has very much a look of what we call a passionate emotional style, at least in your right hand, which is your public hand, and that's your interactions with the outside world. And passionate equals kind of volatile, really knowing what you want, going after it without being shy about it. It's one of the emotional styles that we call a quote-unquote me first kind of style. And that's to be understood, not that it's me first running over you and running roughshod over you. It's rather, I expect that when I know what I want and it is up to me to take care of getting it. It's not up to you to give it to me. I will go get it, and I expect you for the things that you need. I expect you to go after the things that you want and that you need. That's a little abbreviated form, but that's kind of the passionate emotional style. You kind of think in the old days about, Gina Lola Brigida.
I love that, and that's really, yeah, and in a way it kind of relieved my mind a little bit because sometimes I do that. I mean, a lot of times I'll do that. It'll take a while before it's more of a solid form, but once I know it, that's it. I go for it. I focus it, and I go, well, I don't care what it's going to take. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to that place. I'm going to do this, or I'm going to learn these Google Hangouts, and I'm going to do this, and also then the relief came, when you said that it doesn't mean that you're running over somebody, but you think they should keep care of themselves, not. And I really do feel that. I don't like being an enabler, and I've been very strong about that with my children. They might not appreciate that about me sometimes, but that's the way it is. Yep, you got to do it yourself. So thank you. Can you tell, dear viewer, what you could get from this woman? I'll tell you a little secret at the end of this broadcast that you are gonna find out more about what she's gonna do, because she's coming back. I already asked her. So I also read on your internet site here, we got about, we have about 5 minutes before we wrap up, but I wanted more of Donna. So you told, you had something about a shallow beach adventure. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, my initial training when I first started out doing anything entrepreneurial was coach training, and I went through Franklin Covey coach training, which is a very, for want of a better word, kind of a left brain approach. Franklin Covey is pretty well known, or was, in business circles, and it was based, Stephen Covey wrote The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which was a very popular book about 25 years ago. And so I went through coach training there, but it's always been a challenge. I've done another training with Art Bundens. Right now I'm working on one called Kaizen Muse Coach Training, Creativity Coaching, and that's really exciting because there's some wonderful tools in that. I don't want to go off on a tangent, but if you need to handle things like procrastination, overwhelm, perfectionism, all of those things that keep you kind of being stumbling blocks to your creative process, we've got the tools to deal with those things, and I've been using them, and I'm really excited about it. But anyway, I felt like, and part of my purpose is to do this and be paid for it, not just to do it for fun, or not just to do it as a favor for people or whatever. And that felt very scary for me, very, very frightening. The idea of having a small business was really nerve-wracking. And when I was working with a business mentor, and one of the things that she shared was, okay, let's look at this. I was looking at it from the perspective of an ocean adventure. Now, I live in Southern California, and so the Pacific coast, the Pacific Ocean, and we can get some pretty big waves, some pretty heavy undertows, and swimming in the ocean down here takes a little bit of bravery, and you can get whipped around a lot. And I didn't like that. And then we went to Kauai a few years ago, and we're on this wonderful beach in Hawaii. It was shallow. You could walk way out there. You could be up to your waist and look down in the water and see beautiful fish. And it was just, that's the kind of beach I like. And so we were looking at this as kind of a metaphor for the kind of business that I want, where I can sit up in my lounge chair when I want to, but I can go into the water when I want to. And better yet, take people into the water with me, and we can go and we can explore what's under the surface of the water together. And so that's where that shallow beach came from, because I just really like the idea of the calm, beautiful. And if you've been to Kauai, you know what the water looks like. It's this beautiful aquamarine. Oh, I just got back from a second trip a week ago, and it's really hard to get back to real life. But that's the shallow beach. So SB, instead of being small business, is now my shallow beach, and it makes me approach it in a much more friendly frame of mind.
Ah, that's beautiful, and that's so in alignment with what you want, law of attraction. That's what you're going to get. So awesome. So in wrapping it up today, what aha came up for you, Tony, and you, Donna, on our program here? What kind of aha or enlightened moment went on in your head as we progressed through today? So we'll start with Tony.
I think my aha was knowing that personality traits and things are formulated at 5 months. Sometimes I fight my own emotion, or other people's comments about my emotion to caregive for friends and family, and be it 1 day or 10 years. And they, don't put yourself there, but you know what, it brings me great pleasure. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was part of my personality traits from that age. So it just kind of a little affirmation and a little, it's okay. So I appreciate that. That's a good thought.
Good.
Awesome. Go ahead, Donna.
No, I was saying I'm glad to hear that, because that is your, if you have the personality style, because there is a personality style called the nurturer, and what makes them happiest is doing for other people. That's where the fulfillment comes from. So I'd be curious, Tony, to see what your hands look like. But that is personality, and you can change that. And as a matter of fact, maybe I'll do that as this little final thing here that I can show you. I don't know if you can you see my hand there on the screen?
I need to white box you. Just a minute. There.
I don't know.
It's pretty close.
See, there's a line that's this is about your personality, or your emotional styles, your heart line, traditional palmistry heart line. And what happens is I have one that started out being a passionate heart line, but in modern society, women are often told you're not supposed to be that way. You're not supposed to be me first. You're supposed to be taking care of everybody else first. And so my heart line has taken a little detour. It wanted to go this way, and it ended up veering over that way. So what the choices that we make over the course of our lives show up in my hands. I can see where it's absolutely true. When I was 5, I knew exactly what I wanted. But, culturally and over time, I ended up being much more of a nurturer than the passionate me first. So it's just kind of interesting to see that happening with people.
Awesome. Well, my aha was I love being the passionate me first person and feeling good about it, because I always felt a little, maybe I should have really bought that coat for her, and I thought, no, I need that coat. So you relieved a lot of my kind of anxiety about that. So Thank you, and I'm excited about when you're coming back. So Donna, what was your aha?
Oh my. I don't know, just in listening and seeing when you talk a little bit about alignment, and when you really know that this is a purposeful thing and you start aligning with it, things do fall into place much more easily.
They sure do, yeah. The shallow beach.
Yeah.
The shallow beach. Well, that's our broadcast for today. And so now I'd like to ask my panel also where people can get a hold of them, because I know you're going to want to get a hold of them. So, Donna, where can people get a hold of you?
On my website, www. Although I understand maybe you don't even need that part anymore, but Prince is in handprints, princeonpurpose.com.
Awesome. Good. And Tony, where can people get a hold of you?
They can get hold of me via Gmail at TONEYE72 at gmail.com. That's Tony, because Tony was too many years, so I decided to go with Tony. So that's my email.
And if you want to have their emails, you can also email me at Sandra Longmore at sandralongmore.com. So everything for my contacts is under my name, Sandra Longmore. Social media, my internet site, Sandra Longmore. And so it just made it easy that way. And I'd love to have you come aboard with one of my communities, or just email me if you want to be on the show. Be sure and email me. As you can see, it's just a really easy way we converse back and forth, and we're always excited about things that pop up, like, my hand. Like that. That was exciting. So it actually spurred a creative thought, too. I wanted Donna to come back, but what we're going to do is I'm going to send her information, sign up for one of her programs, and send her the information on my hand here. And then she's going to do a reading, and maybe we'll have time for two, Tony. We never know, yeah. So thank you so much, Donna, for being part of the program today. And thank you, viewers, for watching. And we look forward to having you. Oh, next Saturday is my day off, or my weekend off. And then the following Saturday, I'm taking another weekend off, because I'm visiting my daughter and her family in Spokane for Thanksgiving. So we will see you the second weekend, second Saturday in December already. And the guest is going to be Simone DeRosa, life coach. So another delightful, wonderful, informational, inspirational program with Hangout with Sandra. So bye for now. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.